This is the channel for Theodora Spathis, myself, and today we are going to take a super chill, super relaxed practice. You don't really need much. If you don't have a yoga mat, that is also okay. We're going to be on the floor. Now, if there's any injuries or health issues, please adjust as you need to, but really this is all about unwinding and relaxing. So let's get ready. Lying on your back, nice and comfortably. Now, you're more than welcome to have a cushion or a pillow close by if you need any sort of support for your back. Otherwise, wherever you are, just shake out your arms and your legs just to release any tension. All right, so whether it's morning, afternoon, evening for you, just allow all that energy that you are absorbing constantly just to release. All right, shake out those legs, your arms, and then slowly turn your head side to side. Oh, my voice just went up a notch. Oh boy. Okay, so just moving the head side to side and just shuffle the shoulders down. All right, so the first part of the practice is where we ground. Close your eyes, and it doesn't matter what is going on around you, just come into an internal place. Shut off the outside world for the next 30 minutes or so as we lie here. Right, in your mind's eye, visualize yourself in a calm, relaxed place. You're not in your living room, you're not in your bedroom or wherever you are in a nice, relaxed place. Take your mind elsewhere. You can see sunshine, maybe you can see trees, maybe you can see ocean in your mind, and everything is very zen and peaceful. Right, now just let your body relax onto the mat where you are. The head rests comfortably. Your arms and your legs become nice and floppy. And any tension in your back where you might unconsciously hold and arch, just see if you can relax that as well. Now shift your attention to your breath. We're going to inhale through the nose, nice and calmly, and again exhale through the nose. And breathing in and breathing out. Just slow everything down. And any distractions going on where you are around you, maybe there's construction, maybe there's television noise from the other room, wherever is going on, just let that drift off into the background and find that calm where you are. A few more breaths. Slow the breath. Deepen the inhale. Lengthen the exhale. 2 more breaths here. Right, good. All right, so again, regardless of what goes on around you, for the next time that we are here, this is your time for you. So just keep focused. It doesn't matter if there's noises going on, this is your time. So let's wriggle the fingers and toes, start to awaken the body. Slowly start to open the eyes. Bring your arms up over the head, interlace your fingers, and flip the palms to face the back of the mat. Lengthen your legs, point your toes, stretch it out. Now, if there are any shoulder issues here where reaching the arms over the head doesn't feel good, just raise your arms a little higher. So it's important to work to arrange that what feels good for you. And as the body starts to feel more comfortable, as the tension starts to release, your range will also increase and tension won't feel as intense. All All right, so as we're lengthening here, you might want to wriggle a little side to side. Okay, so the theme for today is just really to reconnect with the body. So this means we have to drop into the feels. I know it can be a bit uncomfortable, but living outside of your body, this is where fight or flight is where most people operate from, is where illness, disease, and just not being present really becomes the main operating system. So we want to drop into the body. Now, it's a little uncomfortable, but guess what? You're here to feel, you're here to experience, and when you're actually in your body, you're more powerful. So this is what we're trying to do today. So again, just wriggle a little side to side, stretch the palms, lengthen the legs, and take one more deep breath, both the inhale and the exhale. All right, now release your arms. We move nice and gently. We're going to bend the knees. Take your feet as wide as your mat. Now, if you don't have a mat, it doesn't matter. I'll just keep referring to the mat. Take your feet wider than your shoulders. Arms, anywhere. It doesn't matter. You can take them straight out to the side or just a little bit further down by your side. We are just going to sway the knees side to side. Start off easy. Let the back and the hips soften. Now, if you have back pain, this is a really simple move to do as things start to release. If you wake up with back pain, which most people do, just start to move gently. I often find we go from 0 to 100 and then we wonder why our bodies are in pain. So just like a car needs to warm up in the morning. Now I'm talking about petrol here. I don't know about electric, but things need to warm up. Our bodies are the same. All right, so just gently sway the knees side to side. Keep breathing. Now your feet are not glued to the floor, so if you need to, take them wider. Maybe bring them closer. Maybe slide them further away from you. Hips are all different for everyone. So internal, external rotation of these hip joints. So we're lubricating our hip joints here and starting to move the sacrum. This is our emotional center. This is the fluid center. Emotions must flow. And most people don't move a lot. It's sitting for long hours, day after day. All right, let's bring everything back to center. We're going to bring soles of the feet together. Now, for this one, just place your hands gently underneath your thighs where they meet your buttocks. As you can see, I'm sort of walking the hands a bit closer underneath. So I've got some support for my legs. Draw the shoulders back, tuck the chin in, and let your knees drop out. There's a few variations here. Now, I've got my feet close to my tailbone, but if your hips are really tight, this might not feel comfortable. You might need to take the legs a little further away. There's no right way. So the position that you'll place your feet first in usually is where you're most comfortable. We're not forcing any range. And if your legs are quite tight, you might just need to support the weight of them just as we begin. And as energy starts to open up and release, you're going to feel energy and tension move through the legs down to the knees. And if you're like myself, you might notice ankles want to be moved as that energy moves out through the legs. All right, relax your back here. If you need to, just gently press the tailbone, or lower back, I should say, into the mat. And if your hips start to feel a bit easier, maybe like to move your hands. Breathe. It's quite easy to let the mind go wandering. If that happens, just slowly come back to focusing on your breath. Scan your bodies. if you're holding tension, maybe your shoulders, maybe your face, maybe that lower back or the hips. Just let everything go. Breathing in and breathing out. So bound ankle. Stay focused on the breath. Now, if you're not used to holding poses, I know that this can get really challenging. It is a battle to slow things down because it's not your normal way of doing things. So every practice has its own challenges. Give yourself a good 8 to 10 minutes. That's where the struggle is usually, and then as you start to drop in, as the minutes keep ticking over, you'll start to feel more and more relaxed. And I always refer it back to a child that is tired, that doesn't want to go to sleep. Oh, the resistance. And we're all big kids. So a couple more breaths here. Now, if you've moved your hands, slightly bring them back underneath the knee, underneath the thigh, and bring the knees to touch. There's going to be a little bit of resistance here. Now walk your feet away from each other and bring your knees to touch. Just let the hips settle. All right, once you feel the sacrum has settled, I'm going to bring those knees in towards the chest, hug them in. Now you can grab a hold from the tops of the knees or the back of the hamstrings, whichever feels better for you, and press the back into the floor. You can sway side to side if that feels good, or you can just hold the pose. Again, relax the shoulders, keep your head down, and breathe. Few more breaths. Nice. All right, let's come back to center. We're going to do a little bit of shoulder mobility. So keep your feet grounded, knees bent. Tuck that tailbone under so we've got a nice long spine. What is often quite common, especially with ladies, is we arch the back and it switches off the core. So just tucking that tailbone under will help to keep the core switched on. Take your elbows out to the side so they're in line with the shoulders, and palms are facing the ceiling so your arms are over your head like a goalpost position. Tuck the chin in a little. Now with this, don't get too caught up if your hands don't touch the floor. You might notice your hands are off the ground. That's fine. We are going to focus on lengthening the arms up over the head, coming to a point as close to the floor as you can, and then reaching back down. So if you have anything over your head, say like a wall or maybe a bookshelf, just shuffle down so you're actually able to reach. Long extension, again close to the floor, and then elbows come back down. So just creating some shoulder mobility here, working on your posture. That's it, elbows wide, long extension. Keep the back pressed into the floor. So if you were at a gym, this is very similar to a lat pull down. Similar movement. Okay, so elbows wide or elbows to ribs if you want to go a little bit further down. But we are working on shoulder mobility here. Keep the back pressed into the floor. And keep the hands as close to the ground as possible. Breathe. A few more rounds. If you want to do this one in your own time, you can do this on the floor. Or alternatively, you can do this one standing against the wall and reaching your arms up towards the ceiling. Now let's do one more. Reach it up nice and long. So as you can see, my hands are not touching the ground, but yours might. Your elbows might be on the floor. And as you do this more frequently, it's going to become a lot easier. All right, release the arms down. One more, knees to chest. This time, tuck the chin in, rounding up into a nice tight ball. Shoulders away from the ears. And again, rock side to side. Good. Let's rock up into all fours. Some cat-cow movements. And I find a lot of people have wrist discomfort just because there's so much pressure using the keyboard all the time or using a mouse. You can come up onto the fist. Now, don't let the fingers be soft. You really want to make a tight fist. That way, the weight goes all the way up through the wrist into the shoulder. If there are no wrist issues, spread your fingers as wide as you can. Press the entire palm into the palm into the floor. And begin your cat-cows. Now, if you know your cat-cow movements, just begin. Feel free to do any variation. So chin to chest. Chin to sky. Look towards the ceiling. Even if your eyes are closed doing this, really try to lengthen. Again, everything is being done intentionally today with a little bit more of a slower pace. And feeling your breath, feeling your movement. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. So this is a great beginner's class, just starting off with your practice. If your energy is a bit flat, if you want to do this before you go to bed, or on your rest day of your training program. Moving with your breath. We're going to take 3 more breaths here. Lift and lengthen. All done. All right, let's come back to center. Let's work a little bit more on the shoulders. So take the knees as wide as your mat. I'm going to move this ant. Poor thing, don't want to squash it. So we're going to come into extended puppy pose. So knees wide. This will help your center of gravity to become lower. You're going to walk your arms forward, but we're not going to keep both of them out. So keep your right hand forward. Bring the left hand a little closer. Now you can either turn your head to the left, or if you prefer, have your forehead down onto the mat. So somewhere in between a puppy pose and a child's pose. So we are working through the back, up into the crown of the head, and then up through the shoulder joint into the arm and the hand. So if you have shoulder pain, you might prefer to have the palm face inward or more to the ceiling so that we're rolling the shoulder back now. Or you might take the arm a little wider, or potentially bring the arm a bit more closer to your head. All right, so relax here into the position that works for you. Drop your chest, drop that right armpit. Breathe. Breathing in, breathing out. So overhead extension. This is a key movement as we get older. I'm noticing, especially with women, their arm strength is just not as strong as their legs. And overhead, we do use our shoulders for most of our movements, but we just do not strengthen them in that position. So working on extension. This will help with neck stiffness as well. Upper and middle back stiffness. And of course, if your shoulders are tight, I promise you your lower back is working harder. 3 more breaths. Just dropping into that pose. Take your time. Inhale, come up, release. Let's change sides. So walk the left arm forward, drop the head down, either forehead onto the mat, or you can turn your head to the side and find a position that works for you. Breathe. Gentle movements, deep breaths. And the great thing about this position is you might also feel tension release from the lower back here. And with your head resting down, hopefully this will have a calming effect on your mind. More centered, more grounded. A few more breaths. Good. All right, slowly roll back up. All right, let's come into a kneeling position. And let's just do a few shoulder rolls. Both directions, leading with the elbows. Keep your head up and your chest open. And change directions. And then from here, we're going to go into some neck rotations. So I'm going to do a half circle today. From one shoulder, drop the head forward and down, over the other side. Really lengthening here. Keep the shoulders heavy and unclenching the jaw, which is a very common theme right now. A lot of people are having TMJ issues. It can be repressed anger, it can be from dream states as well, just clenching as you sleep. There are some exercises you can do if you look into holistic dentistry or TMJ release. I might even leave some links in the description for TMJ. If you've had braces and dental work, that can also be a byproduct. All right, let's come back to center. We're not going to focus on teeth today. Okay, so we're going to come into hero pose next. Single leg variation. Now, you might need a block, you might need a cushion for this, depending on the knee. So your foot is going to go outside of your buttock. Now, if your ankles are really tight, this is going to feel quite uncomfortable. Again, you might need to turn the foot out a little, but then it will change the whole position of the knee and the hip. So if you find this position here is really tight, you might need to slide something underneath your buttocks. So one leg long, one leg short. Bring your hands behind your back if you're able to. Now, as you can see, my back is arched. I'm going to tuck that tailbone under, and immediately I'm going to feel a deeper stretch here. And we're just going to hang out here. As you can see, I'm walking the hands back to get a deeper stretch. It doesn't need to be extremely deep. The stretch alone in this position is more than enough. Now, if you have the range in your hip and your quad, as long as the knee doesn't lift, because then you're just moving back, you can come down onto the elbows, which is actually easier on the wrists. And then if you'd like, you can drop the head back. If, again, you can go deeper, you can come all the way down onto your back. Again, this will just depend on how tight your hips are, the quad tension, knee and ankle mobility. Less is more in this practice today. Use your breath. Breathe. Do not overstretch. I've come down onto the back, but this is not required. You can be up on the elbows or on the forearms, or you can stay up on the hands. Breathe in flexibility, ease of movement, and breathe out the tension and the discomfort. If you're sitting a lot, I promise you your hips are going to be tight. So extension, whether you're doing this standing, this is like a quad stretch. If you ever run in your life, you always see people try and grab their heel behind their butt. This is the pose. Just a little bit more in depth, being on the floor. There's no room for the hips to move. There's no room for the legs to move. You're locked in. Okay, so a few more breaths here. If you're holding on to the breath or half breathing, fully breathing out because it's really intense, come back up. Back off with the intensity. The more relaxed you are, the easier this will become. So 3 more breaths. I don't want to hold you too long. And slowly make your way up. Gently, 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 keep breathing. Shake those legs out, both of them. Wave them up, down, side to side. As you can see, I'm getting right into those hips. Hello, little bug. Okay, let's do the other side. That was such an Aussie thing. Oh, I'm not scared of spiders. They're not that bad. Okay, so other side. Tuck that tailbone under. That is very important in this stretch, and even just doing that alone will be enough. And again, if you'd like, walk the hands back, or maybe come down onto one elbow. Maybe you're here and not fully all the way down. Right. And again, if it feels available to you, make your way onto your back. Take your time, breathe. Enjoy the process. We all want to feel more flexible. We all want to feel more free, but we can't get there without sort of having some level of discomfort. So rather than condemning or judging the body as like, oh, it's so uncomfortable, this is so tight. How about sort of saying, all right, this is getting a little bit easier. I'm grateful that my legs work. I'm grateful that I have legs that are healthy. I'm grateful for pain because it sort of tells me where I can go to. Just shift that perspective a little bit. No one likes pain, let's be honest. But it does give us a guide. Keep breathing. Deep breaths. Be patient. Allow your shoulders to relax. Allow your hips to soften, including your lower back here. Few more breaths. All right, almost there. It's a bit tighter on my right side for me. Good. All right, slowly make your way up. Oh, good Lord. All right, shake it out. Good job. All right, shake it out. So lots of movement there. Let's come into a bit more of some active moves just to release some of that tension from your reclining hero pose, single leg. Now, feet together, you can hold on to the feet, the ankles or the shin bones or maybe the big toes, and gently lifting the knees up and down. Just get that sacral moving. Shoulders back, chest open. All right, so we're almost there. We've got just a couple more poses to get through. So the next pose is going to be a wide-legged forward fold. So because today's quite, well, I say gentle, gentle in its own way, you're going to take the legs wide, but nothing where you're not able to feel the stretch in the inner thighs, the groin, and hopefully in that lower back. So if your legs are too wide, you're sort of going to be locked in. So come to a position where you're able to actually move a little. Now, if you need to bring the legs in closer for that to happen, do so. If you need to bend your knees for that to happen, then do so. So come to a position where you're comfortable. If you have a cushion, you might actually benefit from this. That will help to tilt your pelvis forward. So with this, we're actually going to move a little bit. We're not going to hold. So hands can come behind the back, and we're going to gently wriggle side to side. So if you can imagine just moving side to side, just a gentle pendulum of the hips and the body. You can also have your hands onto the legs, or if it's available to you, hands in front of you. Now, if your butt is tucked under, this is not really going to work. You're sort of kind of behind. You actually need to shift that pelvis. That's where the change happens. So be patient. Again, it's a gentle rocking side to side. Breathe. Now, I've got some ibises making their way. They might come in a camera shot. They might not. Let's see. That's it. Breathe. Keep rocking side to side. Just gentle movements. And as you're rocking, maybe it's becoming a little easier and you can move a little more forward. Otherwise, just stay where you are. Ooh. I truly love nature. They're really, I know they get called bin chickens, I know, but nature is truly amazing. We could learn a lot if we just watch it a little bit more. How they pay attention to seasons, to what's going on energetically. Good. Keep breathing. And hopefully you're starting to feel a release. It takes time, right? It takes time. All right, so a few more breaths. Just keep rocking a little side to side. So it's been a lot of movement for the sacral chakra today, the root area, our pelvic region. So when our hips feel really tight, we can actually get wound up ourselves and get frustrated. And then of course we get frustrated with others. Alrighty, let's bring everything back to center. Slowly bring the hands closer to you. Slowly bring that body up. Shake those legs all the way together and shake them out. We're almost there. Roll onto your backs. For happy baby. Okay, now happy baby, depending on how your back feels after that last pose, either knees wide, big toes touching, or grab a hold, big toes, feet or the ankles, and rock side to side. Good, you're doing amazing. We're almost there. A few more breaths. Nice. And bring your legs back down onto the mat. Okay, I'm just going to shuffle up along. Good. Right, we do one more reach up and over. Interlace those fingers. Stretch it out. Legs nice and long. Lift up and over to one side. Stretch it out. And then up and over to the other side. Stretch it out. And back to center, as we did at the beginning of the practice. Shake those arms and legs out a little bit more intensely maybe, and then come into your Shavasana. Take a nice big deep breath in, side out, and again big deep breath in, let it go. Thank you for joining me for your practice today. I truly wish you the most amazing morning, day, or evening ahead wherever you are. And always remember, you are a light. You are a beacon of light, divine source creation, nothing less. So wherever you go, be yourself, speak your truth, stand your ground, and know that you truly are amazing, divine, worthy, and deserving. Stay here for as long as you like as you reintegrate and recalibrate. My name is Theodora Spathis. Until next time, thank you and namaste.